Hello my loves, and welcome back to another video. Today is all about an update. So this is something that people have been asking for in comments on previous videos, all about my polycystic kidney disease, my intermittent fasting, and the vegan keto diet. If you're interested, then I have other videos about those, and I will leave links in the description below and kind of link you up for those. All I can do is share my story and what's worked for me. But I do advise that you speak to your nephrologist. When I moved on to this kind of diet and lifestyle, I consulted my nephrologist and I asked their permission and said, you know, this is what I'm thinking about doing, and I had the consent of my nephrologist to do this. I highly recommend speaking to your medical provider. But this is an update video on how my GFR and my creatinine both improved on a vegan keto diet. All right, so I have all of the questions on my laptop here on my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to go through the comments that I've kind of collated into a little document here, and we're going to go through them. So the first question: has there been an improvement in my GFR and my creatinine levels? And the answer is yes. So I first began doing the vegan keto thing on the 1st of January 2020, before the whole pandemic thing. I had my lab work done in the third quarter of 2019, and I had it done again in the middle of 2020. So it was about 9 months different between these two lab works. And this is the result from 6 months of vegan keto. My GFR in 2019 was 63, and in 2020 it was 76. We all know that your GFR kind of bounces around, but 76 is the highest that has been for, I want to say, about 10 years. And the GFR is traditionally supposed to decline as you get older. Well, mine's increasing, and stay tuned because it's still increasing. So my creatinine went from 1.05 in 2019 to 0.90 in 2020. I am very happy with that result. So basically, those are my results after 6 months on a vegan keto diet. Now, one of the questions I got was, are you still keto? How's your kidney function now? And did the kidney size change due to the keto diet? Yes, I am still on keto. I do keto about 98% of the time. I'm still on the vegan keto diet because I'm always going to be vegan. I'm vegan for ethical and moral reasons, as well as my health reasons. I had just had my recent labs a year after my last ones. So let's look at those. So 2019, my GFR was 63. 2020, my GFR was 76. 2021, my GFR is 78. Now, that's only a 2-point difference, but it's still going up. We're still making improvements. Now, my creatinine in 2019 was 1.05. In 2020, it was 0.90. In 2021, it's 0.87. My creatinine is still going down. So yes, I'm still on the keto. My kidney function is doing better. Did the kidney size change due to the keto diet? I don't know. I can tell you how I feel and what I physically feel, but measurement wise, I don't know. I haven't had a CT scan done. I haven't had an ultrasound done. So that I don't know. And honestly, I'm not going to put myself through the contrast of a CT just to get a scan when I feel fine. I'm just not. If I feel that I need one in the future, then I will get one. Is it okay to drink water with this disease? So firstly, the disclaimer that you need to figure out what stage you're in. Because if you're in stage 1 versus stage 5, your water is going to differ greatly. So consult with your nephrologist. But if you're like me, yes, it's fine to drink water, and water is the one thing that you need to be drinking. What stage of PKD do you have? I believe I was borderline 3B, and now I'm bumped back up into stage 3. So I'm happy with that. What was your maximum creatinine level before you started intermittent fasting and keto? I don't know my maximum creatinine of all of the time because we're talking a almost 32-year span here. You know, we've moved country, we've moved medical providers, but I do know my results from all of my creatinine from 2013. From 2013 to 2021, my max creatinine was the 1.05, and now it's 0.87. How did you find out you had PKD? I have a family history of PKD. It's a genetic disease. I got tested at 18 with an ultrasound and they found cysts on my kidneys. Will the keto diet and intermittent fasting help me? If I follow a healthy lifestyle, can I avoid dialysis and control creatinine level in the future? Maybe. At this point, the way that I saw things when I first learned about these studies was it's a diet change. I have nothing to lose. Just try it. Try it for a couple of months. I suggest 3 to 6 months and see how you feel. Get your lab works done before, get your lab works done after. My results say yes. The results that I've seen on other people in the Facebook groups and online have said yes. However, your mileage may vary. It's not an easy lifestyle to follow. I will say that. There are challenges, but there are also challenges to being on dialysis 3 times a week. Choose your challenge. Does the keto diet include high doses of potassium and sodium, which are not very good for PKD? Maybe. Depends on what you're eating. But typically the foods that I've chosen are not high in potassium. Now, sodium is the other thing, and there's a couple of more questions on this, so I'm going to hold that one till later. When did you start showing symptoms and when did the cysts start? How old are you now, and would a kidney transplant help you? The cysts started before I was 18. I was diagnosed at 18, the cysts were already there. But I have PKD, it's genetic. So the gene was there when I was born. When I was in utero, that's how I was made. I had that gene, it was switched on. When did the cysts start? Who knows? Before I was 18. How old am I now? I am 49 right now. I was diagnosed at 18. Would a kidney transplant help you? For me, no. Because my function is high, I'm at 78 now. Typically when you get below 20 is when you start need to looking at dialysis, and then eventually below 10, you're looking at transplant. My mom's on transplant list right now. Now I'm gonna butcher this word, but you're gonna have to bear with me. Did you ever have microhematuria in your urine? Basically it's blood in your urine. Trace amounts of blood in your urine. I have not had that. I had an accident on my motorbike. I fell on my left side and I burst some of the cysts and had blood in my urine for 3, maybe 4 days. Will protein intake be harmful or helpful to me? Now, one of the great myths about the keto diet is that it's high protein. It's not high protein, it's high fat. It's not paleo, it's not high protein, it's high fat. Typically, you want to aim between 70 and 80% of your calories from fat, around 15 to 20 from protein, and around 10% being carbohydrates. So no, it's not high protein. As far as to whether it will be helpful or harmful, well, that depends on your body and the kind of protein that you're eating. The differences of protein being animal or plant-based. Animal protein is very taxing for the kidneys. It makes them work that much harder. Plant proteins are a little easier on the kidneys, so you may want to think about changing to more plant-based proteins. Do you have to do vegan keto? No, you don't. However, there are studies being done. So I'm going to leave a link to a website down below where they're doing kind of a broad-based study of plant-based keto diet for PKD. Now there are some recipes there that are from renal dietitians as well, so highly recommend checking those out. So have you tried a BHB supplement? I have not, but I'm looking into it. I know that Dr. Thomas Wimes has a company where they're kind of producing one that is suitable for kidney patients. I am kind of reluctant to try a standard BHB supplement because of all the fillers and stuff that go into it, but that is definitely something that I will be looking into once they release their safe BHB supplement for kidney patients. Can I reduce the risk of kidney failure by doing yoga/exercise? If you have high blood pressure, then yes, yoga and exercise will help. High blood pressure, the higher your blood pressure goes, typically the more your kidney function declines. So yes, maybe. But if you have PKD, just be mindful of the kind of exercise that you're doing. My blood pressure is very high, around 160/90. So what should I do for living a long life? You should reduce your blood pressure. Diet, exercise. Reduce your stress, maybe some meditation. And if that doesn't work, don't be afraid to take medication. My husband has PKD and he's taking homeopathic medicine. Should he cut down his protein intake, and what else should he follow? That really doesn't tell me anything. I don't know how much protein he's having already. I don't know anything about your husband. I would advise you looking at the keto diet, and the study I will leave down below of the keto diet and PKD. My results and the results of other people have shown that this can be beneficial. Your mileage may vary. Do you have any pain caused by PKD? Right now, no. In 2019, yes. In prior years to that, yes, I did. Typically, you get pain in the flank, in the back. Because my left kidney is in a slightly different position than what it should be, I get pain on the front as well. It can also, because the kidneys get so big, they can kind of take up so much space in your abdomen that they push other organs out the way. They get a little bit kind of bullyish. So yes, they can cause pain. I'm a diet soda lover and drink coffee and energy drinks. Do you drink either? No. The biggest thing that you can do for your health, for your kidneys, is to take out the sodas completely. Take out the energy drinks completely. The caffeine will not help you. There are multiple studies done on caffeine and PKD, and I would suggest, even if you find that you're doing okay with your sodas and your coffee and your energy drinks, try going without them. Water is the best thing that you can drink. Personally, I've tried having sodas and that negatively affects me. I get pain, I get discomfort, and I know that that is the only thing that I've changed. I did my own experiment. I do not take any of those, and I don't drink coffee because I don't like coffee. I've never drunk coffee. I'm just this energetic naturally. Do you think a vegan keto diet instead of the regular keto is more beneficial for people who have PKD? Personal opinion, but yes, I do. Medical opinion is out on that. They're still doing studies. But if animal protein taxes the kidneys more than plant-based protein, then I would err more onto the plant-based protein just to give my kidneys less stress. That just makes sense to me. So personally, that's what I believe. But you do you. I'm on keto and wanting to switch to vegan keto because I believe animal dairy is causing me issues. Then switch to vegan keto? Or just cut dairy? How is your cholesterol? I don't know. I haven't had my cholesterol tested in quite a while. I'd be interested to see, so I might kind of make an appointment. The problem is, like over the past, like what are we now, 18 months into this pandemic? It feels like forever. I'm not going to a medical provider unless I need to. If sick people are there, I'm staying away. I'm about to embark on a vegan keto diet in the hope that it will help my polycystic kidney and liver disease. Any advice? I also have cysts on my liver. The one thing that I will say is that soy is one of those things that can aggravate your liver cysts. So be mindful of how you feel eating soy. Do your own due diligence and look at the studies there. But for me, soy is not a problem. Didn't say whether you were male or female, and I didn't put down here, but if you're female and you're on the pill, definitely get off the pill if you have liver cysts. Not good. So there is a link between the estrogen in the pill and increasing the liver cyst size. If I remember, I will also link that in the description below. Please, 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 the one thing that I suggest that you do is stay up to date on the research and the study. Definitely you need to do that if you have PKD. What do you eat in a day? So a typical day for me, I don't have breakfast. I do intermittent fasting. I only eat between 12 and around 8. Meal-wise, it varies. It depends on the weather and how I'm feeling. I do love my tacos, salads, wraps, chia pudding, lots of nuts and seeds. I make like a flax cracker, so I'll have like nachos with those, cauliflower soup, Thai coconut curry with cauliflower rice, like zucchini noodles, like spaghetti, but it's zucchini, zoodles, shirataki, something noodles. I I didn't really like those. I mean, they're zero carb, but there's also zero flavor. Try different things. I've made like a layered lasagna with zucchini, rutabaga fries, zucchini fries. There are so many options. The one thing that I do suggest is before you do the keto diet, whether you do vegan or regular keto, find some recipes that you like beforehand, because this diet requires prepping, okay? You need to prep what you're going to eat, because otherwise you will just fall into the trap of eating the regular crap that you were eating before. You increase the sodium. Isn't that awful for the kidneys? Yes and no. If you're eating the standard American diet, adding sodium to your food is not advised. You get more than enough sodium just from your regular foods. However, if you're eating more of a clean diet from plant-based foods, there's very little sodium in there, and because of the keto flushing everything through your body a little bit quicker, you need to add your electrolytes back. So the one thing that people tend to get in the keto diet is they have the keto flu. I never really had much of that, and when I do, I just get a headache and it lasts maybe a day, and that is because my electrolytes are low. Have some electrolytes, whether you purchase those and just put them in your water, they're kind of a powder or a tablet that go in some water, or just add a little bit of salt to your food. How much salt did you consume before, and how much do you consume now? Before I did vegan keto, I used to be very strict with my sodium content. I would restrict myself to around 2,000 micrograms a day. So the average that is recommended is 2,500. I would restrict myself to 2,000, and if I could, I would get lower than that. Now, I find, because I track on Chronometer, I find that sometimes my sodium is low, so I add and I bump it up a little bit, but I make sure that I try not to go over that 2,000 mark. That is just my barometer for my food, but because a lot of my food is natural and just fresh, like a cauliflower itself doesn't have much sodium in it, but a cauliflower that is processed in a curry, in a can, in a tin, in a packet, in some way, they add sodium to it. So I fill the gap, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. How are you doing it? Even with just vegetables, I go over 50 grams of carbs. So I've put the laptop down so you know it's getting serious. This is all about the net carb. So you take your carbohydrates and you subtract the fiber. What's left is your net carbs. Those are the ones that you need to be counting. Again, I don't go by this magic 10 grams of carbohydrate, because I think that's BS personally. It doesn't make sense to me that a 125-pound female will need 10 grams of carbs to get into keto, and a 250-pound man would also need 10 grams of carbs to get into keto. That makes no sense. If they're double the size of me, then they would need more carbs, right? That makes perfect sense. So I go by macros. I go by my macros. My macros are 70% fat, 20% protein, 10% carbohydrates. So as we wrap up this video, what I do want to share is my journey, my opinions, and my thoughts about this diet and for PKD. Is it a challenge? Yeah, it is. It takes some planning, it takes work, and it takes determination. There is a lot of willpower involved in this, in not just saying to hell with it and eating whatever is in the cupboards. You have to be in this for the long haul. You have to meal prep. You have to know what your next meal is going to be, and to be able to say no to temptation. And that is the tricky one. Now, do I have cheat days? In the beginning, no, I didn't. That first 6 months, I stayed strictly on my diet. The second 6 months, I kind of introduced some different foods. I found the carb balance wraps. There's the keto bread that is at Aldi, that is 0 carbs and delicious. And so I added in some kind of processed filler foods that were a bit more convenient sometimes. And I also started doing a cheat day. Now, my cheat day tends to coincide with holidays, birthdays, kind of anniversaries, any kind of big event that we have, just so that I'm not the weirdo on some strange diet when we're out on a meal or something like that. So for example, the 4th of July, I had 4th of July stuff. I had a regular bun with a Beyond Burger, and I had fries, and I had all of the carbs. And yes, I had a beer. But the 5th of July, I was straight back on my diet. And then I was on my diet until the 1st of August. The 1st of August was my husband's birthday. We went out for a meal. I had all of the carbs at the meal. We had a donut. We came home. We had pizza. We had all of the carbs. 2nd of August, straight back on to my diet. So the big question for me was, prior to seeing these results, was even if the results don't show that there's a difference, then would I continue? And the answer for me was yes. Why? Because I felt better. So for me, for the past few years, my left kidney has been kind of growing. It's bigger, it's protruding, and it's been very kind of firm to the touch. Like when I palpate it, it's firm. Over the last 18 months, it's softened. It's squishier, it's more pliable, and it's just less angry. I want to use the word angry. I had an angry kidney and now it's happier. So for me, just feeling better is worth staying on this diet. Yes, it's restrictive. Yes, it's a challenge. Yes, you need willpower and motivation. But here's the thing. It is much easier for me to plan my meals ahead, to say no to the traditional breads, pastries, pizza, and all of that, and sugar, than it is for me to be on dialysis 3 times a week for 5 hours at a time. You got to choose your battle. Which one are you going to go for? Because I want to stave off dialysis and transplant as long as I can, and hopefully, God willing, never have to go on dialysis and transplant. My mother right now, God bless her, is on dialysis 3 times a week, and she's on the transplant list. So you have to decide which challenge you're going to have. Are you going to have the decline and do nothing about it? Or are you going to have the challenge of changing your diet and lifestyle in order to stave off things later on? That's your choice. That's the way I see it. And I know that for me, a diet and lifestyle change is so worth it. All right, my loves, I hope that helped. It gives you a little bit of insight into PKD, intermittent fasting, and the vegan keto diet. If you have any questions that I haven't covered, then leave it down below and I'll hopefully do a follow-up video to this. If you are interested in any vegan keto recipes, product reviews, or any advice that I can share, my journey that I've kind of stumbled on here on the vegan keto journey towards my PKD longevity, then let me know in the comments below and I'll try and help you out with anything that I can, either in the comments or in a future video. And until then, my loves, remember that karma is only a bitch if you are. So be nice, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world.